Hello, welcome or welcome back. Thanks for stopping by. I hope you like my new office setup. It's new, we're working through some things, but I think it'll do all right. Today is October 10th, which actually it's the last day of the breast cancer fundraiser that I'm doing, so I'm very, very excited. And I want to see if I can somehow record the last little bits of the auction when it comes up. Right now it is like 8:30 in the morning, I think. And the auction ends at 11. So I would love, for more bids to be coming in. And I want to figure out how I can record that. I don't know if I'm going to be recording my phone. I don't know if I can do it off of eBay, but regardless. So I need to get this done. And tomorrow is Depot Days, a little event that they're having that I'm going to be there. And I just want to go ahead and get the car completely loaded, get that off of my mental checklist because there's so much going on right now. I'm while it's still cool outside, somewhat cool, I'm even in sweatpants. It's 60 something degrees. I'm ooh, it's chilly which is wild for us. But being in the South, it's such a nice crisp breeze at 68. Anyway though, I am going to get the car loaded, and since I think I had to fluff a little bit of the Keller Fall Festival video, I didn't really get a whole lot on there. I was let's just go ahead and start this one off with me loading the vehicle, and if there's anything I need to chit chat with you about, then I'll do that then. Let's get after it. So first thing is first, we're gonna do the tent in here. That way it is in its own little space. Cool, great. Love that for me. And then these are my, you can see, these are my tent walls. I haven't really figured out how to do them yet, as in a better way to not take up too much space. I think some people leave the top canopy on the tent when they put it back in the bag, but I don't know how, because with mine, unless I'm just not doing it right, which very well could be, there's not really a lot of room in the bag for the tent, so I don't really know how they do it. But also, the people that I've seen do that, or that I think that they've done it, maybe I'm just imagining it, but they do it often, right? So I haven't done one other than the one in Keller last weekend since it was last year. I think it was October or November of last year where I actually needed a tent. The two prior this year were just little pop-up events in the mall, so I didn't need a tent, right? But anyway, actually I'm going to move this on top of here because now we need tables. Table one going in. How are we gonna do that? Nope. And if you're wondering, I haven't used this car before. This is a spare car that we have in the family, so I'm not really sure how I need to pack it, but that'll be good enough. Table one and table two going in. Oops, got it. All right, there's that. Honestly, I'm gonna get there early enough. I'm over here over analyzing where do I want to put stuff, but since I'm gonna have 2 hours for setup when I get there, because it's from 6 to 9 a.m. for setup, and then if you're not there by 9 a.m. you forfeit your spot, right? Which would be cool if somebody doesn't get there beside me, but anyway. And then from 9 to 10 is still setup time, and it starts from 10 to 4. And I want to be there by 7:30 because my best friend said that she's coming, but my boyfriend, he's going to be out of town at a wedding in Vegas, actually. Not his wedding, but so he's going to be out of town for that, not able to help. My dad has something going on, and I'm I can do it myself. If something happens and she can't make it in the morning, I can do it myself. I just want a little bit of extra time, mostly because I'm really meticulous about things. So anyway, and I'm over here literally in the background thinking, where do I need to put this to make it the easiest to get out of the vehicle? I'm Megan, it is way too early to be over analyzing everything. So anyway, I have grid walls right here that I'm going to set up in a Z shape. And I might have shown it in the first Fall Festival video that I did, but I don't think I really went over it. So I'm going to attempt tomorrow to do a lot better with the setup, speaking through it and chit-chatting through it, and hopefully get a little bit better clips of me walking through it, because my friend is really good about listening to what I'm telling her for how how I do everything for checkout and everything. She's really, really good about that. So I don't have any worries about that. I just feel guilty for leaving her there if it's really busy. So hopefully I get some good footage of the other booths, and last year there was 2 other crocheters there, which weirdly enough, they had me like up towards one end of the block, but they had both of them on the other end of the block across from each other, like almost directly across from each other. I'm like, that's not fair. That's pretty bad that they did that, but I don't recall seeing, I went over the vendor list. They have them listed out when they send it to you. I don't recall any of the vendor names like kind of mentioning crafts or really, you know, definitely not crochet, at least in the name. And I cannot remember, I remember one girl's name, it was like Once Upon a Yarn or something like that. Then the other one, I can't remember hers, but none of the names like jog something in my memory, so I don't know if they're gonna be back. But regardless, they're at least not directly beside me. I did look and there's like a couple other things going on. I'm hoping the woman that was beside me last year, she was selling polymer clay earrings, and I got some sunflower ones, so maybe tomorrow if I can find them. They really won't go with my white shirt that has Miss Megan Made Me on it, and I kind of want to wear that for my event. I think that was cool for the fall festival. They don't really go with that, but also, is anyone really gonna care? Probably not, because it's also gonna be like 80 degrees outside, and it's gonna be OU Texas weekend, so I'm kind of concerned already about people coming, since that's a huge Red River rivalry, and it does start at 2:30, and this starts at 10, so here's hoping. But anyway, I'm clearly procrastinating. Let's finish packing this car. Okay, 2 shelves, 2 little like wire shelves that I set up and I zip tie them together and they make shelves. And then a wagon. If you're doing events, just so you're fully aware, this wagon right here I got mine from Academy, right? Yeah, from Academy, and I got the XL size, I believe. Lifesaver, especially if you're not able to drive up and drop your stuff off. If you have to walk from a couple blocks, you're gonna need one of these. So just throwing that out there as a little tidbit. I really didn't sit much at the Keller event, but always bring a chair just in case. Cause yeah, when I'm doing this, I'm typically up because I want them to see me, and I might have something in my hand going on. But I mean, especially if it's warm, you're gonna need a chair, okay? This is my banner. I did not put it out at the festival last weekend. I really didn't need it. And that's kind of a good thing about having like a lot of inventory sometimes. Like, they can see it. They don't really care about your banner because they can see what you're doing, right? And plus mine only says Miss Megan Made Me, handmade with love. I want to redo it, but this is the one that I've got for right now. My original one, so it doesn't really even say what I'm doing. It does have a yarn ball on it and it says handmade, but nobody's gonna see that and be like, oh, okay, she crochets. No, they're gonna see everything around it, but it's still really nice and more professional looking to have. Another important thing that you're gonna need, tent weights. Now, last week, I bought a set, and I'll put them up either on the screen or whatever. They broke. I filled all of them with at least like 30 pounds worth of gravel, because it said it can do gravel, sand, water, whatever, and they broke instantly. That was the first time that I tried them for the festival. Broke, so there was gravel getting everywhere. But so I got these tent weights, so I'm hoping that this is gonna be the first time I'm trying them out, but they do fit on my tent. I did check that out first. They have little notches right here that can sit on top of the one underneath them, and then you just like crisscross them around. So here's hoping. I don't think I'm gonna need this anyway. The wind is gonna be like 5 to 10 miles an hour, but it's a requirement to have it weighted down regardless, right? You never know what the weather's gonna do, especially up over here. But yeah, I got 3 sets of these. This is 30 pounds by itself, and it is very heavy at the moment, but I'll keep flapping my jaws until my point is done. I got 3 sets of these, and I think that's gonna be more than plenty. I'll do 3 on each leg, because that's 3 sets is 12, so 3, 6, 9, 12. Yeah, 3 on each leg. And I think that'll be just a little bit over 20 pounds total on each leg. So hopefully that'll be fine. I probably won't put all of them out unless it starts getting really windy. But anyway, yeah, tent weights, a absolute must. Then of course you're gonna need your inventory. And like, I think I'm pretty sure I've already said it. I'm pretty meticulous about what I'm doing and like where it's going. I wanna be organized. That way I'm not scrambling, you know, at any point during a sale. And so when I've already put the other 3 bags, and then this is a 4th bag, so I'm bringing 4 bags worth of inventory. But when I'm doing it, since these are kind of clear, you can kind of see through them, I just stick a little piece of paper in there for me once I've filled it up of what's in here. So this bag in particular, these items are gonna go on the shelf and on the table. So these items are not gonna be hung up on my grid wall. They're not gonna be over there. That's just a way for me to know where I'm putting stuff as soon as I get the bag out. I'm like, okay, what is this bag? Okay, actually I wanna start hanging the stuff first on the grid wall, so let's do that bag first, and I'll go through that bag that's already back there. But yeah, it's just an extra way for me to to be organized somewhat in the morning tomorrow, you know, because it's just so early. My brain really doesn't start functioning or firing until like 10 a.m. No matter if I'm awake, it's not like all there. So the better I can help prepare my own self, you know, then good on me. But yeah, and it really helps me feel better in the morning time when I'm doing all this stuff. But thankfully I'll have more than enough time if I'm there by 7:30 to do all of this. So I'm not gonna be rushed, but like at the Keller one, I had like an hour and a half, and so I just kind of felt rushed because you're setting up the stuff and then you put it out, right? But like the vendors, sometimes they go through first. I'm like, hurry, 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 get it out. But I'll have more than enough time, but it still doesn't hurt to be, you know, somewhat organized. All right, well, that is officially everything from the garage. I have 1 bag of minis that I'm gonna bring just with me and put them up in the front seat at some point. But they're just in a extra large tote bag that I have, because I know that those are gonna go on the table, so I don't wanna be digging through those huge bags or bring a 5th bag if I don't need it, you know. And then I have a container, an actual storage container that I wanna bring, or that I do bring, that has my bags and my tablecloths, the trays for my table, my square reader. It has that kind of stuff in it, so I have that in an actual storage container. That way it'll be good and protected. I'm not leaving it up to Jesus with those those flimsy bags, you know, those storage bags that I put the plushies in. But outside of that, and besides bringing myself, I need to get my fan out, which let me do that before I forget. Okay, so in this bag, I got it from Harbor Freight. It's a really good size. I just took the what are those? The ratchet straps out. I'm not gonna need those this time around, but I do have a couple bungee cords in here in this pocket just in case. And then of course this thing. I cannot recommend this thing enough. Oh my gosh, it is a lifesaver. It works incredibly well. And of course these big old batteries, I got this 6 amp for this one. They last a good while, so just if you're able to purchase that, just trust me, it'll be worth it. It'll be an investment, but it'll be worth it. And then I also have a second one right here, but then I have this adapter, yeah, just this little adapter right here that has a plug on it and then 2 USB ports in case you need to charge anything, in which, look, fully charged. That's what I love too. You can tell, okay, how much juice is in the battery? Boom, it is fully charged. And then the other thing in here, I just have a little a little hammer, but if you undo it, it has a flat head. And if you undo it again, it's got a Phillips head in there. One more. Oh, maybe that's the last one. Okay. But I mean, you never know if like a screw, I wasn't even thinking about it, but I was watching a few other videos lately of people doing events, and they were saying like the screws in their tents were coming loose. And I was like, oh my God, I hadn't even considered that. So we got this just in case, because it's got both of those in there. And yeah, tomorrow I don't think I'm gonna bring get out this entire bag. I think once we unload, I'm just gonna put those into this, what the heck is this called? Wagon. Oh my God. I'm just gonna put that into the wagon. That way we have more room, because last week at Keller, it was a 12 by 12 space, even though, you know, my tent is a 10 by 10. But they gave you 12 by 12. I don't really know why, but it was really nice. We didn't have to worry about getting too close to somebody. We were able to spread out and stuff, but this one is 10 by 10. They had the spots marked off really well because it's on a street. And this year they've kind of moved everybody around. Last year we were on both sides, like this one road, we were on both sides of it. But this year it's only on one side of the road, and then they're extending it down another block on the same side. So we're not on both sides of one singular road. So I'm not sure what that's gonna do to like us as far as being jam-packed in there. It's gonna feel more open since nobody's gonna be on the other side, right? But yeah, anyway, regardless, they're sticklers about spots. I totally get it, but yeah, so I'm trying to see what is the least amount of room I can take up. So I probably won't actually take this bag. I'll probably just take the fan and the little adapter out at some point and just put them in the wagon when we get there, but that'll be for tomorrow. So besides the minis and the container that is holding the bags and my square reader and stuff like that, I think I'm good. Here's hoping for a good day tomorrow. I'll check back in with y'all when I can. Good morning. I just want to say big kudos to anybody that does this often. What time is it? It's 7:10. And I am already just like exhausted for the day. It's going to be a long day. I'm very excited about it, but it's just like, wow, the ones that do this all the time, I mean, kudos to you, and especially by yourself. So thankfully my best friend has come in. I think I've already said that, but like if it wasn't for her, I would have been over here probably at like 6:30 maybe, so that way I could get set up by myself because the tent is just, it's difficult. But yeah, thank God I have her in my life. So right now I'm heading over there. I'm probably like, I don't know, 5 minutes away, but I'm gonna stop and get us coffee first. And I can't remember if I said it a while ago, the setup is from 6 to 9, and so they want like the bigger vehicles and bigger setups to get there at 6, which isn't me, right? I'm gonna try to get there by 7:30, but it's from 6 to 9, but then the thing doesn't start till 10, and it says if you aren't there by 10, your spot's forfeited, which okay, or excuse me, if you're not there by 9, your spot is forfeited. So, you know, maybe they move around, they like take that hour or something to move people around. I'm not sure what that hour is for, that hour gap. Anyway, I guess I'll find out. I did this last year and it turned out really good. Last year I think I made $1,400. So my goals for this year, which, you know, it's also OU Texas weekend, so I mean that starts at 2:30 this afternoon. But anyway, it's OU Texas weekend, so who knows how many people are going to be there. I feel like there was football games going on last year too, but anyway, I don't think it was OU Texas weekend last year. Anyway, very rambly this morning already, and I don't know where I was going with that, but yeah, it's early. I'm tired. Hopefully there's a lot of people. Oh, my goals. God. Okay, so small goal would be 450. Medium goal, 750. Large goal, 1,000, and my like extra large goal would be 1,500. Let's do 1,500 for an extra large goal for like the win of the day. Let's see if we can do that. What else? I don't really think there is anything else at the moment. I brought a little claw clamp to see if I can connect my phone and maybe record some, so we'll see how that goes as well. I'm gonna try, but first, before anything, coffee and some breakfast. I'm probably not gonna eat the breakfast until like after we're done setting up. I'm typically not a breakfast person at all. Immediately as soon as I wake up, it takes me a few hours, but the egg bites from Starbucks, which is basically all that we have around here, those egg bites are pretty decent for protein. They kept me full for last week at Keller for that whole time because I didn't eat anything else other than those egg bites for down in Keller for all those hours. So I'm definitely going to do that again, and hopefully by the time I am hungry at like, I don't know, maybe 9, 10, something like that, then it'll hold me over for a little bit. But yeah, tired and wore out, so let's go get some coffee. It has been busy since about 9 a.m. when this thing started at 10 a.m. So it's almost 1 p.m. right now, and I've already hit my medium goal of 750. So needless to say, it's going amazing. But yeah, very, very hot, very busy, and it's been a good time. Very happy that my best friend came with me because I could not have done this without her. Oh my gosh, it has been nuts. I'm back home. I didn't get a last minute table look. I didn't get anything else. It was just so busy the entire day, which is absolutely wonderful. But as far as recording, I'm just not doing well with these events. Sorry about that. But I can tell you right now, without going over everything, which I'll go over everything here in a minute, but I hit my Excel goal of over 1,500. That is just mind-blowing, because last year there, I think I made 14, and this year it at least got to 15. I don't know what I'm at yet, but yeah. So right now, just took a shower, just cleaned up for a minute, and then we're about to go to a hockey game. And then whenever I'm able to relax and chill out and then come back and look over everything, then I'll get you some numbers. It's a gloomy day here in Southern OK, but I figured y'all have made it this far into the video, so it's probably time to give you all the results. And of course, a little overview. So as last time, my little market recap, here is my fancy sheet that I'm hoping I can read. I actually just wrote this about 10 minutes ago, and with it being early right now, yeah, I'm kind of like, maybe if I squint and kind of leave my head, I can read it. I don't know. Maybe I should have waited, but you know what? The show must go on. So here we are. All right, let's get into it. How did Depot Days for me do this year? Just to recap some of these specifics, it was on October 11th in Gainesville, Texas. It was a 10 by 10 space outside that I had, and the booth fee was $110. I ended up bringing, oh my God, when I had to write this a while ago, it just, I mentioned it multiple times, I think in the last one and maybe even earlier in this one, but why can't I just round to like the nearest whole number or something, you know? Because like the items that I brought was 296. You're telling me I couldn't have dropped one to make it 295 or brought 4 more? Come on, Megan, get it together. And then the total inventory amount that I brought was 3,496. Like, again, why couldn't I have rounded it, either taken off $1 from something or added 4 more? I don't know. It drives me nuts. Why did I do that? Anyway, moving along. I think it was during was it in the morning? I don't remember when it was, but I did set some goals for myself. The small goal was going to be $450. So last year I made, it was $1,400, okay? So that was what I was going off of these goals with. So for the small, like I said, it was $450. A medium goal was going to be $750. A large goal was going to be $1,000, and then an extra large goal was going to be $1,500. Since last year I made 14, I was like, I mean, you know, let's just see if we can. Doesn't hurt anything to dream, right? So, okay, so now we got the goals out of the way. How many transactions did I have? I have no clue how many I had last year, but this seems substantial for some reason. I had 93 transactions. Like, that's quite a few, and I know that we had so many people coming through. But I was like, 93? That sounds like a lot. But I know that quite a few of them were a lot of minis, right? I did do a lot of the buy 4 minis, get 1 free. So I get, $20 off of that. A lot of people were doing that, it seemed like, at this particular show. So good for me, right? And then let's see, what do we go to next? If you're wondering what I'm holding, it is a highlighter, which actually I've already talked about these certain points. So let me mark them off the list. Okay, so I got those marked off. Now what? How about we go over, there aren't many highlights because it was busy constantly throughout the entire day. Let's see, when I got there, my friend was just a little bit late in the morning. So one of the coordinators there, it was very, very nice of her. She helped me to unload since I was one of the, not first people there, but like there still wasn't a lot of the vendors there yet setting up and stuff like that. So she actually helped me and let me leave my vehicle there while we set the tent up. So that was super nice of her. And she helped me unload my entire vehicle. I was just so thankful for her. That was incredibly nice because a lot of places don't. They're like, you unload and you deal with it, if you're by yourself. And my friend showed up right after that. She just forgot something, like it wasn't a big deal. But I was like, oh my God, that was so nice of her. I was just planning on unloading, wait till my friend got there in the next 5-10 minutes to come help me. So that was really, really sweet of her to do. And she was super nice. She's like, if you need anything, throughout the day or you need me to watch your tent, let me know. And I was like, no, my friend's coming, but thank you. So very well organized. If you're in the area and you want to come to this or whatever, they're really, really nice. Set up really well. And all the tent spots are like lined off in chalk. So there's no question about where you're going, right? So that was good. What next? Okay, so there was, I haven't had this happen yet, I don't believe, But there was a little girl that come up and she had $6, I believe. Something like that. I think she had like $6. Close enough, $6, $7. So she bought a mini, which she was going around. She's like, is there anything? Da, da, da. And I said, well, you know, you can get a mini for $5. You can get a rubber duck for $6. Blah, blah, blah. And so she finally ended up settling on a mini. And then she went away. She come back with a friend, okay, and they're looking around, and she said, do you have anything else for $1? I said, no, I don't. And they were just looking, and oh my gosh, the friend that came with her, they were kind of looking and they were thinking. The friend wasn't going to buy anything. Had she already bought? No, she hadn't bought something. I don't think she was interested. I don't think this friend was interested, but they were having a little conversation like, oh, well, and they asked if they could swap out the mini, and I said, well, yeah, that's not a problem. The little minis, I don't care about. And so they were looking around. She's like, man, I can't decide between this one or this one. And her friend goes, that, mind you, they were probably 11, I think, around that age. And she goes, well, you could just steal it. And she didn't say it loud. She didn't say it loud at all. But me and my friend are pretty keen, and like we pay attention, even if we may act or look like we're not. We're paying attention. So I heard her say that, and I was just kind of, you know, watching everybody else and whatever, and just sitting. But the main girl that came over that had bought the mini to begin with, that had asked if she could swap it out, she goes, we can't do that. And then the friend was like, I was just kidding. And the main girl that bought something, she was like covering for her friend. She said, no, Mom said we can't buy something else or something. She was covering for it. Me and my friend talked about it after. I was like, yeah, I caught on to that too, that she was trying to cover for her friend for saying that in case we did hear it. But anyway, so good for her for not stealing. That's great. She was taught correctly. That other little girl, maybe she needs a talking to, but they didn't end up stealing anything. So, but I just thought that was funny that she was like, we can't do that. Like we didn't hear, because they were literally right in front of me. The minis are right in front of me so that I can keep a little bit of an eye on them. But anyway, of course they went off. It's like, okay, bye. And they came back later, and the booth next door had some pins that had beads and stuff on it. And she came back and she's like, hey, I found something over there. And I was like, okay, cool. That sounds nice. And she said, yeah, but it's $6 and I only have $1 left. I was like, So I knew what she was getting at. And she just kind of sat there. She didn't say anything. And my friend's like, I think she wants a refund. I said, I know what she wants, but I want her to tell me, especially after what just happened. I want her to tell me. And she didn't. She just kind of sat there and she's like, yeah, I really like that over there. And I said, okay, so do you want your money back? Finally, I gave in. I was like, so do you want your money back? She said, yeah. And I said, okay, well, give me that mini. And I gave her $5 back, and she went, got whatever. I didn't see her again after that. But that was an interesting little thing that happened. But outside of that, I didn't have any trouble with anybody else. And really, I mean, you know, that wasn't that big of a deal. It's not like they were trying to steal one of my giant octos, you know, and cause a problem. Let's see what else worth note happened. The only thing that I can think of is I did happen to undercharge for one of my cows that were made out of Big Twist Posh yarn. On the tag, I'd left $12, but in square I had 15. Well, I can't do that, right? I can't say, well, it's actually, I don't know. For me, I'm like, that's my fault. So I lost $3, so I gave it to him for 12 because I was like, that's what I put on the tag, and I didn't change it, so that's my fault. So yeah, that was a little $3 loss, but you know, could have been worse, right? It could have been $8 if those little girls had stolen one of the minis. And so the last thing that happened out of the entire day, which everything else was pretty straightforward, normal, it was great. While we were packing up and about to, you know, clean up, get ready to go to the hockey game later that night, there were 2 last minute transactions. Like we were packing stuff up, and 2 different people come over. One came over and she's like, "Are you packing up?" And I'm like, "Yeah." Why, what's up? You know, yeah, of course. She said, that giant octo, the black one with the blue. And I said, yeah. Like, do you still have it? Yes. So she bought that last minute. We're packing it up. And then a different one across the road was a pizza place along the block. There was a bunch of buildings across the street along a block or whatever. And there's a pizza place there. She saw us packing up, and she'd been over there a couple times, but I don't believe she'd bought anything. But she's like, hang on, can I look real quick? I said, yeah, go ahead. I was like, here's some bags, you know, go ahead and look through them, whatever. And she ended up getting 3 of the leggy frogs. She's like, I have 3 grandchildren, I better get them something. And of course, all of them have to be even. I was like, yeah, you can't be, you know, spoiling one and not the other one. So you gotta be fair. So those were my 2 last minute transactions of the day, literally while we were packing up. But hey, very thankful for them. So now let's get into some numbers. So I think we're gonna do top 5 sellers next, and then we'll go into the top like highest price item sales next. So number 5 coming in at top sellers was actually a tie. So number 5 and number 4, the exact same. I sold 5 each. And one of those is my Lazy Cats for $12. I sold 5 of those, and the little SpongeBob and Patrick things that I made, I sold those for $6 each, and again, sold 5 of those. So those were my number 4 and 5 top sellers. Coming in at number 3 were the rubber ducks. I sold those for $6 each, and I sold 7 of those. Number 2 were my leggy frogs. I sold those for $10 each, and I ended up selling 13 of those, which really shocked me because leggy frogs have not been hardly even looked at, it feels like. So I was like, really? I sold 13? But yeah, I double checked before this. I was like, really? I sold 13, but I did. And then, of course, coming in at number 1 are my minis. I sold them for $5 each and sold 59 of those. But I was doing the buy 4, get 1 free, so it was probably closer to like 70 that I ended up getting, you know, out the door or whatever because of that little deal. But yeah, I actually sold 59 of them. And then for the top dollar sales of the day, let's see, let's start with number 5 like we just did. Okay, so coming out number 5 was one of my Della Ducks. It was one of the last Della Ducks that I had, and I sold 1 of those for $30. Coming in at number 4 and number 3, it's a tie as well. I sold my Scrappy Bear that I made at the very end of my full container challenge for $45. And then I had a yellow blanket yarn giraffe that I also sold for $45. But I was so shocked that the Scrappy Bear went, but I knew it would take a special buyer, and she came by. It was this little girl with, I believe her grandma is what she said, and she saw it out of everything else. And the bear was up on a shelf too. You know, she was kind of short. She was probably about 12-ish. And she saw it, and then they walked around, and then they came back and she got it. So, I mean, she really wanted that Scrappy Bear, and that made me so happy. So, glad that found a good home. Yeah, both of those were for $45 each, 1 each of those. Coming in at number 2 was my Billy the Clown It Inspired Rabbit. I was so happy that sold too because I knew, again, it was going to take a special buyer. So I just wasn't sure if it was actually going to sell at a festival type of thing or if it was going to be online, but I knew that one would. So it did end up selling for $50. The other one I still have, the solid black with the purple and the orange, kind of looks like a witch's hat. I do still have that one at the moment. But yeah, so it sold for $50. And then coming in at number 1, I sold 2 of my Anchor the Octopuses. One was at the very end of the day, like I just told you. But yeah, one, I don't remember when the other one was sold. But yeah, 2 of them for $75 each. So that was a cool $150 right there. And I'm not going to get into it with pricing because I know that those things are worth more, blah, 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 blah. But anyway, I cleared them out of my inventory. They're no longer taking up space in my house, and they're 2 good homes. So yeah, number 1, 2 Anchor the Octopuses for $75 each. I honestly have no room to complain at all with anything that happened that day, especially since my best friend was so kind to come and help me. The weather held out. It was a little warm, but there was a breeze. I mean, really, and our neighbor, she was super sweet because at one point was doing something and she helped. Oh, I was putting up the tent wall and she helped with that too. So, I mean, everybody was just so nice, so kind all day. Everybody was in a good mood. It was a great day. It really was. Long day, but it was a great day. So I guess the goals are next. The average sale of the day, by the way, was $19.76, which that's pretty good. That's a pretty good average sale, I'd say. And then, okay, yep. So for the goals, did I meet $450? Yes, I did. Did I meet $750? Yes, I did. Did I meet $1,000, the large goal? Yes, I did. And did I meet the extra large goal of $1,500? Yes, I did. So today, out of everything that I sold, it ended up being $1,804. I lost the $3 because of an error of me, you know, doing the tagging and then the square inventory, just not doing that. So it was $3 loss. That's it. The square fee was $30.04. And then the booth fee was $110. So after subtracting all of that, my take home was $1,660.96. And I absolutely cannot complain one bit. That was even better than last year. The weather held out and everything honestly went pretty smoothly, and then ended the night with some hockey in an ice cold arena, which that's perfect because it was hot all day. And yeah, I cannot complain. So that is how my depot days for 2025 went. Sadly, I didn't get to go walk around at this one and go check anything out. I could have, but I don't know, if somebody is helping me, I'm kind of a control freak about stuff because I also don't want to put the pressure on them for anything. And I know that's why they're there, to help, you know, and they've willingly offered help to me. I need to start learning to take the help, I guess. Because I'm like, no, I don't want to leave. Like, what if something happens, or if you have a question and I'm off, or you can't get a hold of me? I don't know. Like, that's literally why they're there for. They're there to help me. I just need to start taking the help. But, so I didn't go walk around to get any footage or to go see anything. The other 2 crocheters that were there from last year, they were there this year as well. And they didn't have them across from each other this time. Last year, they had them directly across from each other, which that is not fair at all. But they had them split up further down the road from where I was, because it was a straight line this time. Last year, we were across the street from each other, all the vendors, but this time it was just down one side. So they were down there a little bit of ways, and they did come by my booth early on in the day, but we were still setting up, and I just unfortunately didn't get to go see them this time. But it was nice to see them again. And I think really that is all that I have for the Depot Days recap. I appreciate you stopping by. It means the absolute most. I hope you and yours have had a wonderful day, and I will holler at y'all on the next one. Bye.